Okay, here we're going to start with John making back squat. We're going to make sure to have his heels shoulder wide apart, which is good in that position. Also, we're going to make sure that the bar is inch below the clavicles. After, he's going up into the bar with both feet on the ground, both of them. After that, he's going to position the bar on traps without touching the cervical spine, and elbows going to be staying in line with the torso. Then he's going to tighten the core and try to split the floor with his feet, and try to not carry the weight with his wrist. He's looking straight ahead, and he will be ready to start making the exercise. He will initiate with hips as if sitting down. Does not lean excessively forward. Make sure that he is doing neutral spine. You can see here his neutral spine. Go lower, John. Go a bit lower. Okay, that's good. Goes down to parallel with the both wing. Can you do that, John? Nice. And bar moves in clear line. Finish. He's going to finish the position in tall with squeezed glutes. After that, we are going to make the eccentric face, which is lowering. John's chin angles are hips and knees. In the hips, the action occurs in flexion, and the primary muscle of each joint are gluteus maximus and hamstrings. And and inhale. In the knees will be the flexion and the quadriceps. And inhale too. In the concentric phase, he's going to, the joints change, the angles will be the hips and the knees. In the hips, we're going to have extension. Can you do the extension, John? He's going flexion there, and he's going extension there. And his primary muscle there is the gluteus maximus and the hamstrings. And he's exhaling. Can you do exhaling? Inhaling in the exhaling. And in the knees, the action occurring is the extension. Primary muscles of that joint is the quadriceps, and he's exhaling as we saw that in the last repetition. It's finished. Okay, we are having John here doing front squat. So we are going to start making sure that his feet are shoulder wide apart. He's good there, and he's going to try to split the floor. Also, you have to make sure that the bar is inch below the clavicles, and he's looking straight ahead. Okay, this is going to make emphasis on quads, core, and upper back. He can use like hook fingers around the bar. Show them like Olympic lifting, but he's going to make the other technique, which is grip is crossed in front without the bar touching the neck. See, the neck is here without touching the neck, and he's going to tighten the core, and he's ready to go up like off the bar. He will initiate with a hip as sitting down. Does not lean excessively forward. Neutral spine. Goes down to parallel without both wing. Do it, John. Without both wing. Very good. Bar moves in clear line. Relax hip flexor and keep posterior chain tight to break the concentric eccentric chain. Rise with an explosive dynamic contraction. Inhale and exhale. Sage. Okay. we are going to finishing the movement with with squeezing the glutes. Finishing squeezing the glutes and stop there, John. Okay, we're going to explain the phase concept, the concentric and eccentric phase. Okay, we're going to start with the eccentric phase. Okay, we're going to start with eccentric phase, John. Okay, lowering, he's going to inhale, and his joints changing angles are hips and knees. His hips are doing flexion, and his primary muscles of his joint are gluteus maximus and hamstrings. You can stop that, John. On the knees will be the flexion and the quadriceps. And in the concentric phase, do it again, John. Go again. Show me the concentric phase. He will be exhaling, and his joint changing angle will be hips and knees. Hips will be doing extension, and he will be used gluteus maximus and hamstrings. And the knees will do an extension, and he will use quadriceps. And that's it. We have John here making demonstration on box squat. Okay, we have to make sure that the bar is inch below the clavicles. And when he's going into the bench, we have to make sure that the femur is parallel and his knees are 90 degrees. After that, get up, John. We have to make sure that the wide of his heel is the shoulder wide apart. He will try to split the floor. Has to look straight ahead, and when he's going into the bar, he's going to rest the bar in his straps without touching the clavicle. He's going to tighten in the core, and he's going to make emphasis on his quads, core, and upper back. Okay, get off the rack. He will initiate with the hips as if sitting down. Doesn't lean excessively forward, neutral spine, goes down to parallel with the both wing, bar moves in clear line, go down, go up, sorry John, again, okay, go, make an eccentric again, me. Okay, when he sit back again into the box, with core tight, with complete contract, has to relax the hip flexor and hip posterior chain tight to break the concentric and eccentric chain. He's breaking the concentric and eccentric chain by sitting on the box. Then he will rise with an explosive and dynamic contraction. Finish with a stall, squeezing the glutes. Then we are going to have the eccentric phase, the lowering phase. Inhaling, just exaggerate the inhaling and exhaling. Can you do two reps for me, John? One. Inhaling, exhaling. Okay. So on the lowering phase, we are going, the joints changing angle are the hips and the knees. In the hips, the flexion and the gluteus is flexion action. And the primary muscle are the gluteus and hamstrings, and he's nailing, as you can see. On the knees, he will be a flexion as well, and the primary muscle will be the quadriceps. On the lifting phase, which is concentric, he will be exhaling, and the joints changing angle will be hips and knees. On the hips, he will be doing extension, and his primary muscle will be gluteus maximus and hamstrings. On the knees, he will be extension too, and the primary muscles will be quadriceps. That's the box squat. Doing a split squat. Okay, he's going on into the bar, and he's going to position the bar on the traps without touching the cervical spine. Elbows stay aligned with the torso. He's going to tighten the core. He's he has to make sure that his feet is shoulder weight apart, feet straight forward. Then he's going to start making the exercise. Reach one foot back as far as he can go. See, 90 degrees is pretty okay. Heels do not touch the ground in the back leg. He's not touching the ground in the eccentric phase. Keep chest high. Let's look forward. Doesn't lean excessively forward. Neutral spine. You can do here. Bar moves in clear line. Okay. You do one, John. Don't touch the floor, John. Go again. Don't touch the floor, John. There. Okay. Neutral spine, John. Again. Okay. Finish solve. And then he's going to rest a little bit. And I will explain the eccentric and concentric phase. Okay. Okay, we are going to start with eccentric phase. In the lowering phase, he's changing angles in the front leg are the hip and the knee. The hip is the action occurring is flexion, and his primary muscles are gluteus maximus and hamstring. He's inhaling in that eccentric phase and exhaling in the concentric phase. On the back leg, his knee, his action will be flexion, and his primary muscle will be quadriceps. Get rest, John. Then after that, I will going to explain the concentric action. Tell me when you're ready, man. Okay, John is ready. He's in the concentric phase, which is the lifting phase. In the front leg, we are the joint chain angles are the hip and the knee. And the hip, the action occurring is extension, and the primary muscle are gluteus maximus and hamstring, and he's exhaling. Can you do one, John? Nail, and exhale. Okay. In the back leg, in the front leg, also the knee is changing angle. On the back leg, also the knee is changing angle. Both the action occurring in both is extension, and in the knee, the primary muscle is the quadricep. And we are finished with that. Also, the action occurring is extension, and the primary muscle are the quads. In the lowering phase, the knees also are flexion, and the primary muscle are the quads as well. And we are finished with this. Now we are explaining the concentric and eccentric phase. Take the bar off the rack, John, and start making he's starting making the lowering phase, which is the eccentric. The joints changing angles are the hips, and the action occurring is flexion. Primary muscles are gluteus maximus and hamstring, and he's inhaling in that phase. The concentric phase, which is the lifting, joint chain the angles are the hips, action occurring is extension, primary muscle are gluteus maximus, hamstrings, and he is exhaling. John performing glute ham rise. Okay, he has to get in the GHR machine and just so that the heels press against the metal plate. And the knees should rest right behind the pad, and the pressure should be on the ankle hooks. Sure. Are you okay, John? After that, he has to make to have neutral spine and tighten core. Begin with torso perpendicular to the floor. Squeeze hamstrings, glutes, and abdominal muscle, positioning direct torso at the 45 degrees angle. Press from the feet and aim to shoot out the 45 degrees. Do it. Reverse the motion and repeat. Okay, we are going to explain the concentric and eccentric phase. In the eccentric phase, which is lowering, the joints changing angles are the knees, action occurring is extension, primary muscle are hamstring, is inhaling. Do it, John? Concentric phase, which is that one, is lifting, joints changing angle also are the knees, action occurring is flexion, primary muscle are hamstring, and he's exhaling. That's it.
So now we are going to film Luis doing a bent over barbell row. So he's going to stand straight in front of the bar, and his stance is going to be somewhere between a deadlift and squat. He's going to begin with a soft bend in knees, and once he's ready, he's going to grip the bar with a hooked grip. And he's going to hinge forward with his hips and keep a neutral spine and cervical spine. So once he's ready, he's going to pull his elbows to the ceiling, squeeze his scapula at the top, and the bar should be ideally a vertical line straight to his lower chest. So in the concentric lifting phase, his shoulder joint goes through horizontal abduction. In narrow, it goes through extension, the primary muscle mover being the lat dorsi. So in his concentric phase, he's going to exhale. See? Perfect. Now, his elbow in the concentric lifting phase is going to be going through flexion, both in a wide and narrow grip, and the PMM of that is going to be the biceps brachii. So in his lowering phase, he's going to inhale, and his shoulder joints are going to be going through horizontal adduction in a wide grip and flexion in a narrow grip. And the primary muscle mover will be the lat dorsi. His elbow in an eccentric lowering phase will be going through extension, and the primary muscle mover will be the biceps brachii. Awesome. All right, so now I am filming Luis doing a one-arm row. So he's already placed a dumbbell on either side of the bench, and now he's going to place one leg on top of the bench, and he's going to keep a flat torso parallel to the floor, and he's going to put the hand on the same side on the bench to steady himself. He's going to keep a super neutral spine, so you should need to straighten out your spine just a bit. Yeah, okay. Keep a super neutral spine, and then with the other hand, he's going to pick up the dumbbell, and he's going to bring his elbow towards the ceiling and make sure the arm stays really close to the body. Okay? So he's going to keep a tight core, and he's going to squeeze the back muscles and focus on them. And like I said, he's going to keep a nice neutral spine all the way to the neck, which he has right now. So in the concentric lifting phase, the shoulder joint goes through extension, and the lat dorsi is the latissimus dorsi is the primary muscle mover, and he's going to exhale. Now the elbow is going through flexion, and the bicep brachii is the primary muscle mover. In the eccentric lowering phase where he inhales, his shoulder's going to be going through flexion, his latissimus dorsi is going to be the primary muscle mover, and his elbow is going to be going through extension, and his biceps brachii is going to be the primary muscle mover. Perfect. So I'm going to be filming Luis doing a barbell bench press. He's going to start by lying on the bench with his feet flattened forward and his eyes straight under the bar. He's going to tighten his shoulder blades, and he's going to have 3 points of contact on the bench at all times. So he's going to grab the bar in a comfortable grip. He has a wide grip right now. Some people do it shoulder width. There's a range of grips you can hold it. And he's going to have definitely a hooked grip for safety. So when he unracks the bar, he's going to start by straightening his arms. And then he's going to lower to the nipple line. And then he's going to push up and keep a neutral spine. And he's going to repeat that for as many reps as possible. So once he's done, he's going to lock out his arms, and he's going to rack it back up. But you can see he's making sure he's not bouncing at the bottom. In the concentric lifting phase of a bench press, the shoulder joint is going through horizontal adduction because he is doing a wide grip, and he's exhaling, and the elbow is going through extension. and the primary muscle mover is the tricep brachii. In the lowering phase, his shoulder joint is going through horizontal abduction, and his pectoralis major, the primary muscle mover, while his triceps brachii flex his elbow, or put his elbow in flexion. All right, so he's done now, and he's going to straighten his arms, lock them out, bring it back, and wrap back up. So now I'm going to film Roman doing some chest flies. He's starting sitting on the bench with his feet flat forward and his dumbbells sitting on his quads. When he's ready, he's going to lie down flat on the bench. And he's going to lift, if they were heavier dumbbells, he would lift them one at a time using his legs as help, but they're 20s and he seems to have that. Once he's ready, he's going to raise his dumbbells to shoulder width with the palms facing each other and a slight bend in elbows. So does he have a slight bend in elbows? Do you have a slight bend? Yeah, okay, he has a slight bend. And when he's ready, he's going to lower his arms out in an arc, and he's not going to continue after he starts to feel a stretch in the chest. So he's not going to continue into any real tension in the chest. He's just going to get a good amount and then come back to make sure he doesn't separate any cross bridges. And he's going to make sure his elbows don't move. So at the top you can see he holds for a moment, then repeats. So in the concentric lifting phase, the shoulder joint is going through horizontal adduction. The pectoralis major is the primary muscle mover, and you can see that he's exhaling. In the eccentric lowering phase, the shoulder joint is going through horizontal abduction. The pectoralis major is the primary muscle mover, and he inhales. So once he's done, he's just going to bring them back up and back to his quads, and then he's ready to go. So now Roman is going to do a horizontal row. He's going to start by positioning his feet on the foot plate, and he's going to keep a slight bend in knees. He's going to grasp the row handle and push with his legs until his arms are extended. So there he goes. He's going to tighten his core muscles. His back should be straight and upright, and his shoulders should be back, and he should be looking forward. When he rows towards himself, he should draw power from the back, not the arms, and the path of the handle should be straight towards his lower chest area. So in the concentric lifting phase, the shoulder joint goes through flexion, and the primary muscle mover is the latissimus dorsi. So in the concentric phase, he will be exhaling, and the elbow will be going through flexion with the bicep brachii as the primary muscle mover. So in the eccentric lowering phase, his shoulder joint will be going through extension, his latissimus dorsi will be the primary muscle mover, and he will be inhaling, while his elbow will be going through extension, and his biceps brachii will be the primary muscle mover. Okay, you're good. All right, so now we are going to film Lewis doing pull-ups. So he's first going to step right under the bar to where he can reach it. He's going to start by gripping the bar pronated at shoulder width for a traditional pull-up. So he's going to engage his core, look forward, emphasize his back, and he's going to stay neutral all throughout his spine. So when he's ready to go, he's going to raise his chest, and he's going to pull up until his chin passes the bar. He's going to make sure his elbows don't flare out. He's going to keep them tight, and then he's going to go down and hang at the bottom. Okay, so in the concentric lifting phase, his shoulder joint is going through extension in a wide grip and horizontal adduction in a narrow grip. The primary muscle mover of the shoulders is latissimus dorsi, and the elbows is biceps brachii. When he goes up, he's going to exhale. He's going to keep everything tight and neutral. On the lowering phase, he's going to do that nice and slowly. His shoulder joint goes through flexion. His elbows go through extension in a wide grip and in a narrow grip. His shoulder grips go through horizontal abduction, and his elbows again go through extension. So on the way up, he inhales, And once he's done, he can just let go. Awesome. Okay, make sure you keep everything tight and straight. Ready? Okay, make sure you keep that back straight. Good. Okay, so now we're gonna film Roman doing a chin-up. He's gonna stand right under the bar, and he's gonna start by gripping the bar, supinated at shoulder width for a traditional pull-up. He's gonna engage his core and emphasize his back, and he's gonna stay neutral. So when he's ready, he's just gonna grab the bar right now in a shoulder width supinated grip, and he's gonna pull up until his chin passes the bar. Perfect. So he's gonna keep his chest high, his back tight, and his spine really neutral, and he's gonna make sure his elbows don't flare out. And then at the bottom, he's gonna hang. So in a chin-up, the concentric lifting phase puts the shoulder joint through extension, and its primary muscle mover is the latissimus dorsi. His elbow goes through flexion, and his primary muscle mover is his biceps brachii. So when he goes up, he's gonna exhale, and he's getting a bit tired, but he's gonna inhale on the way down. Then on the lowering phase, he's going to put his shoulder joint through flexion, and that's going to be his latissimus dorsi doing the work. And then his elbows are going to go through extension, and the primary muscle movers is the bicep brachii. So I don't know if he just inhaled on the way down, but really, ideally, he's going to be exhaling on the way up, inhaling on the way down.